Welcome to Wealth Beyond the White Coat, a show where we dive deep into the world of financial freedom for dentists and medical professionals. I'm your host, Darren Flesher, a dentist with a passion for uncovering the strategies that lead to a prosperous life beyond the office. Every episode will explore the avenues of alternative investing, tax mitigation, and secrets to build wealth that the textbooks don't teach you. Whether you're looking to enhance your financial literacy, discover new investment opportunities, or simply find a better way to manage your money, this is the place where your financial health is the core of our conversations. Welcome to Wealth Beyond the White Coat, where your journey to financial clarity and freedom begins. Welcome back to Wealth Beyond the White Coat for part 2 of our conversation with Dr. Tyler Brady, founder of Haven Dental. Last time we heard about Tyler's entrepreneurial mindset and his commitment to running a dental practice that not only pushes the boundaries, but also creates real impact for his patients and the community. In today's episode, we'll continue where we left off by diving into how Tyler manages to balance his professional ambitions with his family life. We'll also explore his strategies for scaling Haven Dental, including bringing on associates and expanding services, all while staying true to the core values that have driven his success so far. Let's jump in. It sounds like you've figured out you balance being prudent with your finances, but also having a vision of where you wanted to take your practice as far as strategically growing into the digital practice that you currently have. You didn't just go buy all the toys on day one. Like you knew you had to build it stepwise.
Yeah.
How do you it sounds like you've got all the toys. How will you now determine the right time to add a new service or grow your practice in a different way, whether it's capacity or add another practice? What's going to be a determiner for you on what's next?
Yes. I have an associate right now. She works 3 days a week, and she was working 1 day a week when she first came on. Her and I both wanted to start slow, and we've added days here and there. And as soon as the day fills up, as soon as she's booked out for 2 weeks, we add more time or we add more services, and I'll even take a little bit of a step back. So right now, my wife is in dental school in LA. So I go out and see her as much as possible. The last year, especially with her doing that, I've changed my focus a lot, and I've broadened my goals, and I want to be around for my family a lot more. And so right now, my goal and the thing I'm working towards is what can I do to take another step back, even if it's just a little step back, take a half a day off, expand my associate's abilities, expand the office, hiring an additional associate possibly. So the things that I look for, you were right. It's something I learned in my business degree of what a bottleneck is. What's holding me back right now?
Yeah.
And right now it's time and space. Just two little things. By space, like our square footage, we need a bigger
Physical.
office
Yeah.
to be able to accommodate the lab and having multiple doctors working. I still want to be there working on patients, of course, but getting that ball rolling just another notch forward. So I think taking a step back and realizing what's the thing holding us up from growing right now. That's something my brain has always been good at seeing, and it's been a muscle I've exercised and just seeing, and that'll change. And maybe you hire an associate and it doesn't go well and you need to take that step back again. I did that. And it was hard to have to go and work more while I looked for somebody else that could fill that space. So, filling that bottleneck, removing it, and then being willing to step back in and do a little more work for a while until that space that you've created fills itself in.
Yeah. Yeah. It sounds like you've done a good job of staying water and kind of navigating this river. And sometimes the pendulum swings you to being more in the business and less on the business. And sometimes
Yeah.
it lets you be the other way. And obviously, all along the way, trying to maintain that work-life balance. It sounds like you're really listening to what everything and everybody needs and just following that path as it takes you there.
Yeah. Yep.
Yeah.
Yeah. I've worked really hard on that.
Cool.
Zen mode. It's important.
Yeah, absolutely. So let's go back to your practice specifically
Yeah.
for a minute here. What strategies do you feel like you've implemented that have maximized both the impact but also the profitability of your practice? Like, I know you talked about that charitable thing. Is there anything like more day to day that you feel like is really what Haven Dental is, or is it just you? Is there more to it than that?
And that's the reason why I didn't name it Dr. Brady DMD, which I have no problem with. If people do, that's great. I wanted it to be bigger than me. I wanted it to be someplace where I'm a part of it, but I'm not the whole thing. And being on social media, I've become a big chunk of that.
Hmm.
But what I really want to do is the e-myth. I want to create a space for someone else to come in and take over. I want it to be a group of doctors. I want it to be a mentality and a philosophy more than a person. Because let's say I get sick, then what do I do? I can't go to work. Okay, Haven Dental still exists because I've created a space for people to come in and work that way. So that's the ultimate goal is creating a brand, not just on Facebook, but like I hate the word lifestyle, a philosophy, a way of practicing dentistry that maybe isn't the conventional way of doing things. Don't let
Yeah.
insurance tell us what to do. We don't let patients tell us what to do. That's hard sometimes. And sometimes we don't let our laziness tell us what to do. We don't let our faults and shortcomings tell us what to do because our staff will hold us accountable. I've had that happen, and I'm like, "Right, sorry." That's awesome. I love that feeling actually
Yeah.
because that means I'm doing something right.
Absolutely. Yeah. I mean, that sticking to your guns, even when it's self accountability, I think is super important. That's awesome. You built a culture around everybody being accountable, including you.
Yeah. And it's not perfect. Everybody's still working on it. We're having a meeting next week talking about things that I've seen that we need to work on. We're a medical facility, not a bike shop. We got to
Mhm.
keep things clean. I've been in bike shops that are cleaner than my office. Not that I have a dirty office, but that's just something I've noticed. I want as close to sterile everywhere we go
Mhm.
and just sweep up, clean up. Let's tidy things up. That's the next meeting we're going to have.
It's always something, isn't it?
Yep.
Never take
I
your eye off the
remember
ball.
it's funny when every time anyone brings that up, I remember a story by Gary V. He was
Mhm.
at the doctor filling out his intake forms and it asked profession and he wrote firefighter. I am always solving a problem at work. There's always a fire to put out. And that's just what it is to own a business with multiple employees. There's always somebody sick, somebody's late, patient's late, supplies didn't show up, water pump broke. There's always something going on.
Yeah. And I would also venture to guess that nobody even read that form that he filled out as well.
Probably not. Yeah. They're like, I thought you were an internet guy. Oh,
Yeah. Yeah,
yeah.
it's funny. Yeah, and I agree. We are definitely always putting out fires and going back to our business and psychology. That's really
Yeah.
that's what this is. It's managing people, it's HR more than anything else for
hmm
sure.
hmm
Yeah.
And if you enjoy that, it can be really fun. Like I love psychology too. Actually, I love thinking about thinking and how people work and okay, you said it this way. Why do you think they said it that way? And I love being able to put my brain there because then I can take those bottlenecks out.
Financial freedom is about making the right moves at the right time. As practice owners, we often reach a point where growth stalls. Instead of maintaining at that plateau, consider cashing in now, putting that money to work for you, letting it double, triple, or even more over the course of your career, and then go pursue more of what you love to do. This is exactly what I did with my friend JW, a dental practice broker who found the perfect partner for my practice, maximized its value, and optimized the deal terms. He offers a free valuation for those considering a sale. If you want an introduction and the same red carpet treatment shown to me by my friend JW, email me at darren@legacypointgroup.com. That's DEREN at legacypointgroup.com. And I'll be happy to connect you with JW to start your journey to financial independence.
Okay, why are you afraid of the dentist? When I was 3 years old, my dentist held me down and told me it doesn't hurt, hold still. That's a big deal to a lot of people. And
Yeah.
so addressing that and reassuring them, that alone has gotten me a lot of patience. Yeah, I hate the dentist too. I'm gonna make this. My goal is to make it tolerable. Can we try for tolerable? And
Yeah.
they laugh. They're like, yeah, let's do it. So
And I'm sure you're the same way. Honestly, I'm not going to do anything different, but just hearing or just being heard
yeah,
and them letting you know and you listening and absorbing and giving them the feedback that we don't do that here. It's not going to happen, even though that's all true. But just having that conversation and verbalizing it and acknowledging it, I think goes a long way with people.
yeah. How many times have we heard the dentist put his foot on my chest when he pulled the tooth out? I've never seen that happen.
No,
I must
no.
have missed that day in dental school.
Yeah, for
But
sure.
that's their impression of it. No, I'm gonna go slow. I
Yeah.
said, I haven't been to the gym in a while. I can't pull that hard anyways.
That's a good line. What advice would you give to young dentists or just dentists in general that are looking to break away from the traditional model and build a practice that is also is personal fulfilling, but also might be a wealth building tool? It feels like you're doing what you want to do and you're serving the people you want to serve, but I'm sure it's also financially lucrative, which can be some people's motivator. How do you
For
feel like you
sure.
can teach other people to blend those two things together?
I think learning the value of your time, like I refer a lot of procedures out when I didn't used to because I had time. And even out of work, what's the value of my time? What is a year of my life gonna be worth when I'm ready to retire and working towards that? And then putting things in your life, working backwards. Okay, what do I need to be making a year to be able to live that year of my life? And then, okay, what do I need to do monthly? What do I need to do weekly? What do I need to do daily? And then what procedures or what habits or what investments do I need to make to get that number? And you'll be surprised how fast it comes. I hate the word because it's super popular right now, but manifesting, it
Hmm.
drives me nuts, but I do that every day.
Let's
I
call it
plan
something
it out.
else.
I don't know. It's mental creation.
There you go.
Everything that exists today existed in somebody's mind at one point.
Hmm.
And starting there, imagining, okay, and not just, oh, it'd be nice to win the lottery one day. Anyways, but like actually planning things out in your head. If I opened a doctor off or an office with 6 doctors in it, what would that look like? Where would the reception be? How big would it would be? How many staff would I need? Because having a plan like that in your head, if that's something you want to do, what would retiring look like? What would my ideal vacation look like? What would my ideal monthly schedule look like? What would my ideal income look like? And then being able to work backwards and really mapping it out in your head, you'll be surprised how fast that happens when you start focusing your mental energy on things. I remember thinking, what would it look like to have, I think I only had 2 chairs when I opened, a third chair open. And then I think it was 3 or 4 months later, I had a third chair in my office. What would it look like to have a hygienist? Oh, I would kill for a hygienist.
Hmm.
And even I started interviewing. And I remember my first hygienist, she said, I will do this. I will make this happen for you. And I created the space. I hired her. And 3 months, 4 months down the road, her schedule was booked solid. And so was mine. So creating it in your mind. I know it sounds philosophical and whatever, manifesting, but it's true. It works. And you've got to have a plan before you can have execution.
I reverse engineer stuff all the time. I mean, I think that's super important. What does the end look like? And then
Yeah.
think backwards. How do I get there? What's step one, two, three, and beyond? Because
Yeah.
I don't remember who said this phrase. You can only eat an elephant one bite at a time. So you definitely don't want to just stare at the vision board and never take action because there's 1,000 steps along the way. So you
Yeah.
definitely have to work backwards and figure out where you're going to get started and just do one thing at a time. And eventually, like you said, it snowballs and you
Yeah.
look back and you realize, oh shoot, I did all that. Like that, you can surprise yourself sometimes.
Yeah. So many things just came to mind when you were saying that I remember when I first opened up and I knew social media was going to be a part of what I needed to do to grow. I'm an introvert. I am not comfortable on camera. I definitely wasn't comfortable on camera then. And I knew I just needed to get my face out there. And so I started doing these little lives on some Facebook groups, just telling people what I'm doing and getting comfortable with that. And then it grew into getting comfortable in front of patients. And now I can talk to anybody online and it feels like I'm sitting at a restaurant with somebody and I'm just talking with a friend, even though you and we've never met in real life, but we've seen each
Hmm.
other on the internet here and there. And it gets a lot easier. Taking that first bite of the elephant is really daunting and it feels impossible. But then you get hungry after you've had a few bites and you're like, no,
Hmm.
I can do this. This works. I'm going to keep moving forward. And I think just putting one foot in front of the other and not looking too far ahead, just keeping those eyes down and just going, okay, I can go one more step. What can I do tomorrow to get one step farther? Instead of, oh, I could never eat an elephant. I'm not even going to try. You're right. You're never going to if you don't even
Yep.
try.
Yeah, people are always looking for that kind of spark of inspiration to all of a sudden have the motivation and the discipline to do it. But I think the discipline is what creates the motivation sometimes,
Mhm.
like just being dedicated and choosing to take that first step and second step. I feel like that's where, like you said, then you get that hunger and all of a sudden you're running, you're ready to go.
Yeah. And there's been times in my life where I'm so unmotivated and inconsistent. And I think that's okay. I think it's okay to have those times and to not be hard on yourself of, oh, I only read 15 books this month. Like I read no books.
Yeah.
It's okay to take a breath and to just, um, I don't know, forgive yourself, but then s- jump back up and get going again and make it happen. That's the important part is doing your best to be consistent.
Yeah. Agreed. We've talked about scaling your practice. We've talked about a little bit about financial success. How do you view the relationship between those two as far as where your practice is going to lead you, what it could do for another doctor? Do you think that their focus needs to be solely on the practice and in the practice, or does it lend to other things? What's been your kind of take on that from a startup practice? And you got this veneer course. And what do you think about the relationship between scaling your practice and financial independence?
I think there's more than one way to go about it for sure. For a long time, I wanted to own multiple offices and do the whole DSO thing and go that way because I thought that was the way for me to have financial freedom and to just franchise myself out. But I even tried it and my second office just flopped. I never even opened it. I There were so many roadblocks. I just felt like this, no, we're not doing this. And so I backed out. I told the bank, never mind. I'm having to pay rent on a space right now that I'm not in. And that's just how it goes sometimes. But I think finding balance is impossible. I think it's good to take something as far as you can and then immediately switch gears to what you feel like you need to work on. It's a pendulum swing, and you have plates spinning on all of these sticks, and finding people that can spin a plate is really helpful. Finding people you can rely on to help you with the things that you're working on, I think, is probably the most important part. And then maybe finding someone who has spun a lot of plates in the past and can help you learn how to make it all happen. But I was just talking to my wife last night. There were times where I wasn't around for my kids, and I don't want that anymore. So I'm spinning that plate as much as I can now, but I have to give up other things. And I think being okay with where life is leading you and where you really want to end up at the end, having those long term goals in mind. Maybe I won't be worth $200 million at the end of my life, but I think my grandkids will be a lot better off knowing that they had good parents who had good parents who were around and taught them things and showed them things. That's where the value of my life is right now, of maybe having a $200 million family instead of a $200 million bank account.
Yeah, I think that's
That pen
really
might,
powerful. Yeah.
and there might be times. So let's say my kids grow up and they're going, and I'm still healthy and happy, and I've got time. I can go focus on other things I want to do. But I think not being hard on yourself. I was talking with my associate the other day. I didn't think my I thought my career would be a lot farther along at this point than I am right now. I think everybody feels that way. I don't think anyone goes, oh my gosh, this is way better. I didn't even have to work for it. So no, we've all had our disappointments. I think just, okay, the pendulum swung that way, so let's make it swing back and find out how we can get it there. Problem solving and prioritizing is the way to do that for sure. Sorry, I'm not giving like good, oh, you need $75,000 in the bank. Like, I'm not a numbers person.
No, that's great. That's
I'm
great to have
a
this perspective.
macro perspective more than a micro for sure.
I think there's, like you said, there's much more to wealth creation than literal numbers. Like you
Yeah.
said, it could be wealth in your family, in your lifestyle. It could be the quality over the quantity, I think is important. So I think that's super important to share that. And I agree, like having a healthy work-life balance is my focus too. I think it is important to take your pulse every once in a while, adjust, recenter. I think that's an awesome perspective to have, and glad to hear there's others that are thinking that way. Are you overwhelmed by dental school loans or practice related debt? Credit cards, mortgage payments, car loans, and more? Imagine a future where your financial burdens are not just reduced, but on track to be eliminated entirely. That's what our soon to be launched solution offers: a powerful, tailored version of the Shred method designed specifically for dentists. This isn't your typical debt reduction strategy. It's a groundbreaking approach to managing cash flow, cutting down interest payments, and accelerating your journey to financial freedom. With this new method, you'll discover how to optimize your income and debt management like never before, keeping more of your hard-earned money where it belongs. Want to be among the first to take advantage of this innovative debt solution? Contact me at darren@legacypointgroup.com. That's DEREN at legacypointgroup.com to join the waiting list and stay in the loop. Your journey to a debt-free life is just around the corner. Stay tuned.
Yeah. And I will say I haven't been a workaholic. I worked 6 days a week for the first 5 years of my career. That's a pendulum swing. And then I realized I need to go back the other way and be around
Yeah.
because my kid just turned 14. It's nuts.
Wow. Yeah, that's crazy.
Yeah.
Let's wrap up here with, tell me a little bit about your veneer course. Anything else you have going on that you'd love to share with people? I'm sure people are very interested to hear more about what you could teach them.
Yeah. And this is a prime example of what we were talking about. I've had people reach out to me, hey, I want to learn how to do this. I like the way things look on social media. I would love to learn how you do things. And I was like, I don't really have time for it. And then starting a course up is very expensive. There's a lot of cost that goes into it, having a venue, having the equipment, all those things. And so I was like, well, I'll just do one-on-one. And so I knew I wanted to do it. And I just got started in a way that would work for me. And it's been going well. And then from doing that, opportunities have come up. I'm talking with a person who leads a pretty big Facebook group who's been looking for someone to come and teach a veneer course at a facility he's building. And it turns out it's a block up from where I practice. And that opportunity has presented itself to where I can go in 1 day, 2 days a month and replace a significant chunk of my income. And that will free up time for my kids. So, like we've talked about, just getting started and doing what you're passionate about. But yeah, it's a one-on-one thing. If anyone wants to do it, DM me. On Instagram, usually best, or reach out on Facebook. I'm on social media way more than I should be.
Are you just Tyler Brady on Instagram?
I think it's Tyler Brady DMD.
Okay,
And my Instagram is haven.dental. I don't even have
cool.
personal on there. I'm so tired of social media.
Understood. It's good that you're focused on the one that matters with pictures and sharing in that
Yeah.
way. So, yeah,
Yeah.
cool.
Cool.
All right. Thanks for coming on, Tyler. Anything else you want to
Yeah.
share with the audience here today?
No, just believe in yourself and get started. That'd be the sum of the pod. Make it happen.
Cool, man. Thanks again. Appreciate you coming on, everyone. Tyler Brady of Haven Dental.
Thank you.
Thanks for listening in to Wealth Beyond the White Coat. Your time and attention mean a lot to us. If you found value in today's episode, please consider leaving us a review on your favorite podcast platform and share it with your colleagues and friends. Your feedback helps us grow and reach more professionals like you striving for financial freedom. Until next time, keep pushing the boundaries of your financial health. Thank you for joining us on this journey to wealth beyond the white coat.